punch is fine.
Yeah.
You know, I hope we can see Krypto get like
no,
beat up.
what's wrong with you? Want to see like
he's a super dog.
Yeah,
There's no
but-
concern here. Like
yeah,
there's no
you want to
animal
see a dog
abuse.
get punched?
You're supposed to hate villains.
Yeah.
They're supposed to do evil things. If they can't punch a dog,
Yeah,
but they can like, you know, like, hello and welcome to Title Issue, the world's finest comic book podcast. We're your hosts, Iby.
And I'm Benny, and today we'll be discussing the Superman movie. Is it the superstar to the DCU that we were hoping for?
Let's talk about it.
It's a comic world and we're your guide, with passion and laughs on this nerdy ride. Grab your snacks, tune in, let's go. Welcome to Title Issues, where the comics glow.
Yeah, so this was a big weekend for both of us. I was really excited for this movie. What about you?
Yeah, I think we talked about how important this movie was for the future of DC movies, and we talked about how much of an event it felt like, and kind of discussed how it felt like in comparison to like other things. Like I was saying, to me, this was the biggest movie opening since the first Deadpool, at least to me, like personally.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah, it's Deadpool was an event, right? Like it coming out.
100%.
Yeah,
It was like a win for the little guy, right?
Yeah.
Like, like fans have been saying for a long time since the Blade movie that they want
Deadpool.
Yeah.
Ryan Reynolds.
Deadpool.
Ryan
They want
Reynolds.
Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, it's
in Deadpool.
definitely.
Yeah. And then, you know, they leak and all that stuff. It was a big event that, like, hey, we can get comic accurate and like taboo comic characters on the screen.
Yeah.
And you I think you said to you it was as big as
BVS.
what
Yeah,
was it, Batman?
it literally felt like Batman versus Superman, because I was really hyped for that movie. It was an event, honestly, when that movie came out. Like all the marketing, all the trailers and stuff. Like, yeah, I was really excited for that one. Yeah, but today we're here to talk about the new Superman movie and what we thought.
And just a little bit of background, I wanted to reiterate again, welcome everyone to this podcast. We're just two best friends that have known each other for what feels like an entire lifetime right now. I think a little over 10 years.
A bit
which
over
is not
10 years.
much,
Yeah, but like, yeah, it's
not much. But it's a long time.
We've been through the trenches together. It's fine.
Yeah, we really have. And we have recently moved to opposite ends of the world. So whenever, you know, we wanted to discuss comic books now or see a movie, you know, we had to do it separately, but we'd spend hours on the phone talking about how we felt about everything and, you know, our thoughts and so on. And one day we decided, you know what, we're halfway across the world and you know, we don't have
Let's
that.
record this.
Yeah, let's record this. Like, let's record this and share it with everyone else that we know and love, and maybe the world, and people will get to have these amazing conversations with us. We'll get to have these amazing conversations with all these people that are, you know, we've never seen before. It's easier now than ever before. And even though it's a trend now for everyone to have a podcast, we figured, you know what, why not us too?
Yeah, give it a kick too, right? Like if we can be friends across the globe, maybe we can make more friends across the globe too, right?
100%. So,
all right,
welcome to the Issues family. Hit the subscribe button if you like our content. I mean, give us a shot. Listen to this first episode and see how you feel. Hopefully, there'll be many more.
Awesome. All right, the Superman movie. So we'll give a spoiler-free review first, and then maybe jump into spoilers later. There'll probably be some timestamps in the description. So
for sure.
Yeah, feel free to jump to whatever point you want. All right.
Awesome. So you want to kick us off? Tell us, tell us what you felt leading up to this film, and then what you felt during the film and what you felt after the film, maybe as a general like kind of review in that sense.
Oh yeah, to me this movie was I don't know, going into the movie I was afraid of what it can be, especially with a lot of the trailers and James Gunn being attached to it. I'm a huge fan of Guardians of the Galaxy, but I'm not sure that the Guardian of the Galaxy tone or like the feel of Guardians of the Galaxy would have translated well to Superman, and I wasn't sure how James Gunn would do that. So, and the first few trailers, I wasn't too optimistic about the first few trailers. I've had some gripes with them and stuff, but going into the movie, I actually really enjoyed it. A lot of my concerns were actually addressed, and I do like this movie. This movie has been pretty good, honestly. I went out satisfied. This is the kind of a Superman movie I've been hoping for a long time. What about you? What do you think about
So, I'm a huge fan of like the DC animated universe, like the Batman animated series, Superman animated series, the Justice League Unlimited, like that sort of thing. And that's always been in my head what the ideal version of these characters is like. And I think this is the closest we've gotten to seeing that. So this movie hit a special place in my heart. Like tugged on the
Yeah.
right strings
Yeah, I
to
get
get me to love it. Um, but more so than that, you kind of touched on something important, which is why I also asked you to break it down in this way, like how you felt before, during, and after. I think people have these concerns with what I like to call the James Gunn isms,
Yeah.
and we've talked about those before. Every director has a thumbprint that they leave on their work. With James Gunn, he has a very unique style, and I think that transitioning from Guardians of the Galaxy to Suicide Squad and then again to Peacemaker, it felt like the same thumbprint was applied to these different things.
Yeah.
So people had concerns that okay, now it's going to be applied to Superman again, and it doesn't work as well
With
in the
Superman.
Superman
Yeah,
world.
that was my major concern there, right?
Yeah, exactly, and I felt the same way too. Like it was a concern for me as well. But what was great, or actually, it's a gift and a curse, right? Because this movie subverted that kind of worry, right? Like we had an expectation, it subverted it and did a really good job not being just another James Gunn.
Yeah.
Not that there's anything wrong with them. Like you said, I love Guardians of the Galaxy. Can't say I was a fan of the Suicide Squad movie. Peacemaker season 1 was okay for me as well. I liked Creature Commandos. Um, but yeah, it wouldn't have worked in Superman if he had just applied the same formula. So because it wasn't the case, it probably made people like it more because they were like, "Ooh, this is a departure from traditional James Gunn style. He's made his changes here to match Superman, and people, are going to be happy about that." But then at the same time, because people went in with that notion that James Gunn usually applies his thumbprint to these things heavily, that people may have also been a little overly critical of certain things in this film that if they had seen it and it was directed by someone else, maybe they wouldn't have had concerns with. So it's a weird double-edged sword, like going
Yeah.
in there knowing James Gunn directed this. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
there's some
It's weird that it is.
yeah, there's some preconceived notions that you have going into this that
Yeah,
might
yeah, and
actually
it's just
affect how. Again,
social media,
I do
right?
want
Social media does that.
yeah, I do want to say like this movie does feel like a James Gunn movie, but also
Oh, definitely.
doesn't feel like there's part of it that feels like a James Gunn movie where like a lot of his thumbprints are still in this, but like
I think it feels like a Superman movie first, then a James Gunn movie second,
yeah.
and I think that's what made it so successful.
Exactly, yeah. You also touched upon how this movie feels like the Superman series, and that is a very apt description because to me it really felt like a 4-episode run of the show, right? Like 4 different episodes where like you can see different plot lines come through and like different stories happen, and it felt like like there's a rerun of like certain episodes of the animated series, and you'd wake up in the morning and just sit down and watch through them, and it's
that's definitely it. And like you phrased it so nicely there. Like to me, I was comparing it to like a comic book run, like a 6-issue arc. Like it felt like there were points in like the storyline where there were natural stopping points where like like you said, you could cut it up and make it into like 4 episodes, or you could cut it up and find a good start and end to an issue of a comic.
Exactly.
So,
yeah.
And I think that's really cool. Like that was really cool. The pacing was interesting. I know some people have had complaints about it, said the story was a bit messy. I didn't feel like it was messy, but I did feel like it was chunked up in like digestible bits. Like you could put a start and finish to like a certain sequence of events that felt like they all were tied together neatly. And then those different sequences together were tied to make the overall plot of the film.
Exactly, yeah. Like this isn't a Superman origin story, but like
thank God,
thank God for that. Yeah. But like again, it does feel like back to the cartoon comparison. It does feel like the cartoon because the cartoon wasn't serialized; it was episodic. So you can pick up an episode and just continue with like Superman's story, and that's what this felt like to me, at least. Like we didn't need to see the origins; we already know what Superman is, but this movie did a great job with like telling you just enough so that you have an image of what this character is, and just continue on and go through the
I
story with him.
agree, 100% agree. And it's hard to really dive into like I think in general, I felt like the entire cast killed it.
Speaking of the
Right? There's
cast,
no
let's go one by one through the cast.
Yeah, we should be careful to not get into spoiler territory this early on.
Yeah.
But I will say that to me, and this is might be controversial,
Mhm.
but I felt like David Corenswet was the most comic accurate Superman that we've ever seen on screen, and that instantly made him my Superman.
Oh,
Right?
nice.
Because my Superman has been the comic book Superman. I liked him more than any other iteration of him, including the Superman animated series. Like I love that so much.
Mhm.
It's my favorite, I guess, Superman content. But the Superman, like when I close my eyes and imagine Superman, or like I was to characterize him, it's based on what I've been reading for my whole life, right?
Yeah.
Like all these Superman. So to see that realized in live action instantly felt like it propelled him to the top of the list of the best Superman that we've seen on the big screen. So to me, he is the best portrayal of Superman that I've seen. I wonder what you think.
I don't know if I can commit to that statement just yet. Like I haven't seen enough of him to say so, but like I do get the sentiment. Like there is enough there to actually give a valid argument to him being the best Superman we've seen so far.
Yeah, and I think it's not even about the suit. Let's say
Mhm.
it's not even about the plot of the movie. I just felt like David's mannerisms themselves,
Mhm.
like
Like
themselves,
how he
were
carries himself,
so.
how he depicts himself.
Oh, yeah. And in the movie, he does a good job of switching from the different like Clark Kent to actual Superman,
Mhm.
to Superman around kids,
Yeah.
Superman around the bad guys, Superman around other heroes, Superman around Lois. Like it felt like he was playing multiple characters. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he played them all flawlessly. And then they form this like tapestry that is Superman. Right? And
Yeah.
it just felt so nice to see those things so smoothly sewn together in what I like. I think it was a stellar performance. I just was blown away. I've seen the interviews and stuff, and I felt like he was going to do a great job because he seemed so Clarky.
Yeah.
Like he was
He
like
seems instant. He seems very like
yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
very
So wide, innocent and stuff. Like I've seen an interview with him where he was like, they were like, "Oh, pick a song that best suits you," and like he like didn't know any of the modern artists.
Yeah.
Like he called like SZA, like he couldn't say SZA. He was like like SZA or something like that. It was really funny, but it just felt like a very Superman.
Yeah. Yeah, there were some complaints about Superman. A lot of people weren't sure about him as a character. There were some complaints online about like, oh, maybe we got like too little Clark Kent in this movie. And
We talked about like we talked about before that the trailer showed him getting beat up a lot, which
Yeah.
was a concern. Showed him very emotional, like he was yelling for half the trailer, and like Superman is kind of like he's not like brooding like Batman is, but he's very stoic.
Yeah.
Right. And it didn't feel like it in the trailer. I didn't feel like that was the case in the movie. I think the trailer may have just been pieced together a bit odd.
Yeah, like
my
I
opinion.
do think the trailers aren't indicative of this movie. Like you do get parts of
Yeah.
it, but like there's a lot of context in between that changes your perspective.
Looking back, I think the purpose of that may have been to avoid giving away plot details. Like
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
didn't know what the plot of this film was going into it, and you were saying that too. You were saying this is the first movie in a while where you'd seen the trailer, seen the movie, and gone like, "Whoa! I would have never guessed that this is the plot."
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think of the suit?
I love the trunks on the outside and the reasoning that was given behind it. I love the belt. I love the symbol, especially
Yeah.
like the Kingdom Come symbol. I love that. I love the cape with the symbol on it too. There was something about the cape, whatever material they used, that just looked majestic all the time. I loved that. One thing I wasn't a fan of are the lines.
I do like the lines. I don't get the hate about them. Like they feel cool. They feel like like they add character to the suit.
Yes, so I mean, I don't know. I wasn't a fan of them. They just looked a little weird to me, and they looked a little weird. Not just
Mhm.
like maybe they didn't look as weird on screen, but they look weird in stills. They look weird in like the statues and action figures, and like the images, and I don't know, just
they translate better in motion than they are in stills, for sure.
yeah, it was weird. It gave it a very like cargo pants, like
Mhm.
like military like wear sort
Yeah.
of vibe, and I wasn't sure that I was a fan of that.
Uh,
But overall, I still think the suit looks great.
yeah. What do you think of Clark Kent, not Superman?
I think I know there were a lot of complaints that there wasn't enough said.
Mhm.
But I think the snippets we were given of Clark were so well done that we were we were able to extrapolate so much.
Yeah.
Like seeing him with his mom and dad and seeing what they were like, we were able to extrapolate so much about what his childhood was like. Like, they were very like, like humble, like farm people, salt of the earth. Like like they were like this very like American,
Yeah, Midwestern.
Midwestern family.
Yeah.
And so like we've seen that many, many times, right? And I'm sure a lot of the like listeners or people that may have been from these areas. So we were able to get that very quickly. So we
Yeah.
didn't get enough of him, but it didn't mean
It
that we didn't know who he was, or we
Yeah.
didn't understand the nature of Clark.
it feels very efficient storytelling, where it's like you get little, and from that you can construct what the character is like. One thing about the complaints about too little Clark in this movie, to me personally at least, similar to like what you said with how David Corenswet depicts different aspects of Superman. To me, the Superman identity is broken down into three parts. There's Clark Kent, there's Superman, and then there's Clark. So it's like,
Do you mean like Clark Kent, Superman, Kal-El?
no, I do mean Clark. Like to me,
Okay.
to me, it's like Superman is Superman. Clark Kent is the Daily Planet reporter, the front that Superman puts on, just a bumbling reporter that goes around and tries to like report on stuff. But like Clark is what Superman is, whether he's in the costume or not, when he's alone, like how he thinks about himself. Like Superman is the front he puts on in front of people. He's the savior that kids look up to. But like Clark is just this kid from the Midwest who was raised in Kansas and wants to do good. And that's, to me, that's like the character, and we did get a lot of Clark in this movie. Like I think we got more Clark than actual Superman or Clark Kent, and that's the character
That's
that matters.
a very interesting way of looking at it. And yeah, I agree with you then if you break it down like that, then 100%. Like 90% of this movie was that Clark that you were talking about. It's interesting because you kind of didn't factor the L aspect of it, like the House of L aspect of it. Like the Kal-El is not a character, and it sounds like you're saying like Clark is the real him.
Yeah.
Both Clark Kent and Superman are an act. Superman is the act and the front that he puts up to the people of Metropolis.
Yeah,
and the
he's
villains.
the moral virtue. He's the paragon of this world, and he's
the symbol of hope.
Yeah.
That he's like portraying, and the hero that he's being. And then Clark Kent is the bumbling idiot that no one ever suspected.
Yeah.
Who's still doing his own good, right? Like as a reporter.
As a reporter, yeah.
Yeah. And then, but the real him is that Clark.
Yeah. Clark is the guy who's afraid that he's the last human, last Kryptonian on Earth. He's afraid of being alone, and the rest of the story. Let's talk about the other cast. We've talked a lot about Superman.
We could talk a lot about.
The movie is called Superman, but yeah. Rachel Brosnahan played Lois Lane in this movie, and what do you think of her performance?
I think she did an amazing job. There's no like definitive version of Lois like there is of Superman. You know what I mean? Like it feels like writers often have liberties with like her personality and her characteristics.
Yeah.
In different runs and different comic tie-ins and things like that, even in different mediums and other movies. She's been different.
Yeah, exactly. Even within the comics, she's not consistent, right?
Yeah. So it was interesting to come into this and see like what Rachel was going to bring to the role. And what was very interesting is in the interviews she said, like, I did research on what it meant to be a journalist first. Then I did research on Lois Lane. And I think she brought a uniqueness here that was like, that felt Lois, like it felt like true to the character.
It did feel like Lois, yeah.
But it also felt fresh and new and very fitting to the world that was established. So I think she did a fantastic job. I do have some gripes about the relationship, the nature of the relationship between her and Superman in this film.
Yeah.
But I think we should save that discussion.
We can address these in the spoilers section of this review.
Yeah.
But I do agree with a lot of the notions you said. Yeah, there is no definitive Lois Lane. But from what we get, like, there is no definitive Lois Lane, but you know what isn't Lois Lane, and she is.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah,
And it's
100%.
like, I also like her impact on the plot. Like, she wasn't just there as a damsel in distress. She actually, like, was committed to her craft. She was a really good reporter. I did like a lot of the reporting scenes that were in this movie.
And like you could see it in the like interviews that we saw in the trailer too.
Yeah.
Like even if you haven't seen the movie yet, like you can already tell that she
hits the hard-hitting questions.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like we wish there was more of that in real life, but
Yeah.
she was like hitting those questions, and at the same time she was like being true to herself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you know, she fundamentally disagrees with a lot of the things Superman
has done, and we
she
see
didn't
see that in the trailer too, and she didn't
shy away.
Yeah. There is other characters in this movie too. There's the notorious Lex Luthor, played by Nicholas Hoult.
What do you think?
Similar to like a lot of the statements we said about Lois Lane, there is no definitive Lex Luthor, at least in my opinion. Like, depending on the depiction, you get scientist Lex, you get businessman Lex, you get like conniving Lex, you get campy Lex, right? There's different sorts of Lex Luthor, and there's also different sorts of like explorations with Lex Luthor. Like, how is he with Superman, right? There's envious. There's they grew up as friends, like similar in like Smallville and stuff. And it's like, you were gonna say something there.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you know, like in a similar way to what you said about Lois Lane, like there is definitely what Lex is not. You know what I mean? I feel like there was a lot of that in the Man of Steel's depiction of Lex. Wait, not the Man of Steel, actually. It was
Batman versus
Batman
Superman.
Yeah. There was, you know, that Lex didn't hit all the things in my checklist of what Lex Luthor should be at base minimum, you know. But this version of Lex was very well done. Like you said, I think this one tried to play a little in different areas. He was the billionaire, like the like businessman. He was a political, you know,
influencer. Yeah,
he was intelligent too. You see that a lot.
He felt like very strategic, like probably the most strategic Lex Luthor we've seen. Yeah, we've seen in a movie so far.
100%. The one thing I felt that was missing is the physicality of Lex that's in a lot of the comics and in a lot of the TV shows, especially the animated universe.
He was literally a square there. Right?
Yeah, he was like a big blocky character. Because I think a big point is that Lex strived to perfection, and that's part of what like pisses him off about Superman is like he calls himself Superman, but he's not a man, you know. And he even says, I think, that exact line in the movie. But to me, is like he strives for mental perfection, for business success and perfection in that sense, political influence. And another aspect of it is his physicality, is that he becomes this really strong person who's able to, you know, be like physically intimidating, but he's getting like ragdolled by this, by this Superman. So in the movie, it wasn't the case. Wasn't a big deal to me that it wasn't. You know, I still feel like it was an amazing Lex Luthor nonetheless.
Yeah, I do like this Lex. I kind of wish we got a bit more of him, even though there was a lot of him in the movie. But like, I do wish like we got like a bit more Lex, just because like I did like the character. I did like some of the depiction. I did like. Okay, there was some James Gunnisms that we talked about. Like there were some jokes in there, but like
for sure,
I felt like they did work with this character. Like he wasn't he wasn't goofy. It was just the surrounding aspect to it that was.
But it was like slightly overplayed, which worked so well because this is a comic book world and it didn't shy away from it being comic book. It needs you to suspend your disbelief a little bit, right? It was a very comic book world, and you see that in like how the city looks kind of like the Superman animated series, you know, like we have the Daily Planet. It looks very akin to that, you know, whereas in the Man of Steel and the Snyderverse, it was very like modernized and stuff. This city feels like a bit more like it was like tapping into the comic book version of Metropolis. And the characters were also very comic book like the whole Jimmy Olsen.
His trick was really funny in the movie.
The character quirks were like that. I forget the character's name, but she was like the
who are we talking? Cat Grant? Eve.
Eve, I think.
Yeah, Eve.
Yeah. She was like very like animated person,
very animated.
exaggerated.
She felt like an animated version of an influencer, you know? Like,
Yeah, it was like a caricature,
Yeah.
like it was meant to be exaggerated, but it worked well for this film. And Lex Luthor is an egotistical maniac.
Yeah.
He's a sociopath.
Like a big
Right?
part with, at least in the comics, where why Lex doesn't know that Clark Kent is Superman is just that he can't fathom that a human with like a human reporter at the Daily Planet is that god that goes around the world and saves people, you know? And it's
Yeah, absolutely. I think like that's definitely like a huge aspect of it. And so in that sense, the James Gunn isms with Lex were that like it overplayed like the egotistical maniac sociopath who's obsessed with himself and can't like that whole like childish like tantrum
yeah.
thing, and it worked well. It worked really well.
We touched a lot about this, but this movie really felt like a comic book. It did give you that comic book feel to stuff, and I do appreciate it for it.
It was a mesh of a lot of tones.
Yeah,
which is a very comic book thing to do. Like the Justice Gang were their own thing, and they had their own tone, even individually. Yeah. Superman had his own tone. Lex Luthor had his own tone. Even different parts of the story. Some parts were a bit more serious. Some parts were a bit lighter hearted. We talked about Eve and Jimmy Olsen. All these characters have their own individual tone. Like whenever Eve was on, it felt funny. Like you were meant to smile and be like, "Oh yeah, this is like what a social media influencer is like," or whatever.
Like, I do think this movie actually managed to like balance the camp with the comic book feel, with the character, the whimsy, and even the serious moments.
Yeah. It was done masterfully, I think, the meshing of all the tones. And that being said, the movie is far from a masterpiece.
Yeah, it's not perfect. Like, we're talking about this like it's perfect. We'll probably touch upon other stuff when we get into spoilers.
Yeah, it's hard to talk about the gripes we have with this without touching on some spoilers. So I feel like a lot of it right now is positive because we're trying to be as like
as vague as possible without like ruining stuff. But like, if you're here to hear about some nitpicks that we have about the movie, we'll just jump to the spoiler section, I'd say. But
I think we should transition like very soon to the spoiler section. I think especially with the minor characters, they were not as prominent in the movie as they were in the trailers. And I think like the points in which they shine and are characterized are in like
spoilers.
Pretty important. Pretty important aspects. Like plot points.
Okay, you know what? Let's jump into spoilers right now.
Absolutely. I think that's a good segue. I don't know if you want to go back maybe and talk about like Superman, Lois Lane, and Lex from that perspective first, like talking about spoiler, or you want to just start off with these characters?
Like, I feel like let's build up to those. Let's start off with the characters we have right now. Let's talk about the Justice Gang, which honestly I wasn't sure how they would come into the story, what sort of plot. Guys, in case you haven't noticed, we're in spoiler territory right now, so watch out.
We're in spoiler territory.
Yeah. So all right. Yeah. So the Justice Gang, they played a more prominent part in the movie than I thought they would. Yeah, all the characters were really good. We got a lot of Mr. Terrific in the movie, like way more than I thought we would get Mr. Terrific. Like the screen time wasn't equal between all the Justice Gang, but
not at all.
What we got was pretty good, and even within,
I think they were a huge part of the trailers. Like the trailer, like if, I guess we were to like record screen time during the trailer. Outside of that beginning scene where it took Superman a while to get to the Fortress of Solitude, they were like heavily present there, and it looked like they were like the villains almost, or like these like anti-heroes that are in this film. But in reality, they played a very different role than that. Like they weren't villains and they weren't necessarily anti-heroes. They just existed naturally in this world.
Yeah. And they were really friendly with Superman. Like I thought there was going to be more conflict there, but like no, they were friends with Clark. They knew his secret identity too, and it was like
that was interesting to me that they knew his secret identity. I always thought that was going to be something that happens over time because we've seen that often. We've seen like Batman have to deduce who Superman is, and then when the Justice League is formed, like they didn't trust each other, and then they have like a moment where they're like, you know what, like maybe we should reveal who we are, so that we can have that bond and that trust. But I guess they're taking a different approach here, which is fine. But like you said, Mr. Terrific was part of the Justice Gang. but he definitely was a more
Yeah, like in terms of screen time, we did see a lot of Mr. Terrific.
even influence on the plot.
Yeah.
Even his impact on that was much bigger than
Which I do
Guy
like.
Gardner.
Yeah, which I do like. If you have the third, he labels himself as the third smartest person in the planet. If you do have that character, you want to like do stuff with him, and I'm glad we got to see more of him.
Absolutely, and it was the casting was terrific too. Like Eddie Gaddagy. I hope I'm not butchering your name. I'm sorry. You are fantastic, and you did a fantastic job. And I think he was like a fan favorite. Like people out of this film doing that. That being said, Nathan Fillion for me, who plays Guy Gardner, killed it. Like I'm not surprised. I'm surprised there's not a bigger reaction to him because Guy Gardner is a silly character.
Yeah, he was the perfect lovable jerk hero.
Yeah, no, but what's even crazier to me about that is that he was playing the character, taking himself seriously while being silly. It's hard to not be silly, like not act silly
and know that you're
silly, and know that you're silly, right? But he's acting silly, and everyone else is reacting to him. But he did such a good job of being like, "No, this is not silly."
Yeah.
I don't know why all these people.
He plays arrogant well enough that it's like, what I'm saying is the truth. Yeah, so I believe it. You know?
No, what a fantastic.
No, even
Isabella Merced too.
Yeah, Hawkgirl was really good too. Like we didn't see a lot of her at all. We saw more Hawkman in the Black Adam movie than Hawkgirl in this movie. But like, there were tiny characteristics for this character that were shown in screen that like kind of implied a lot about this and a lot about the universe. Like the Justice Gang are okay with killing. They're cool with killing, which Superman isn't. And it's nice to see that there's different versions of heroes in this world. Not all of them follow the same compass.
Definitively know, I think that Superman doesn't kill. Like it's like
it's heavily implied that he. Yeah, you're right. We don't definitively know if he doesn't kill, but like
he saves a squirrel in this film, which means he values all life, right? If you're taking the time out of a huge fight to save a squirrel, then you really value life in general, right? Like you're taking the ideal to the max. But at the same time, he spins around shooting his lasers and like knocking a bunch of.
I feel like that was supposed to be like the camp aspect to it, where it's like, like it's a cool move, but like these guys didn't die; they're in like super suits.
Definitely that was it. And like then again, like did the Justice Gang like outright kill someone? I don't think so.
Hawkgirl outright killed someone in this movie. Like it was a whole plot point where she grabbed the leader of Brevia. He was like, "Oh, you won't kill me." Superman didn't kill me, and she was like, "Oh, yeah, I'm not Superman." Right. She just dropped him.
That's right. Yeah. That's true.
And then they also like a big depiction of this, like the example of like how Superman is not like the Justice Gang was the fight against the huge kaiju, where it was like Superman was trying to subdue it, whereas the Justice Gang were okay with just like destroying it from the inside.
And there was a lot of talk going into this movie that people were worried that Superman is going to get beat up or that he's very underpowered. Mm-hmm. But you see him get, like tone his power down because his main concern isn't winning the fight. It's to preserve the city, to protect the people. So you see that as the kind of kryptonite to Superman.
It's like there isn't just a single obstacle to Superman. It's not like just beating up someone. There's different challenges there. There's different win conditions. Superman doesn't really care about like just beating the bad guy. He also cares about like minimizing damage, saving as many people as he can.
And you see that like in like the Justice Gang does not give a shit.
Yeah,
like,
the Justice Gang
but he does.
And Superman was actively trying to clean the Justice Gang's like all the destruction that was caused by the Justice Gang while they were fighting the villain, while he was trying to save the place too, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I also do enjoy like the different variety of villains we got. Like there was like the Hammer of Brevia, which was a straight up 1-on-1 fight. Well, technically not 1-on-1. There was Lex in the background, like commanding the Hammer.
Yeah.
There were like the drones, which were like just a ton of fodder characters that Superman can get rid of, and then there was like the huge kaiju, which I love seeing like one huge character fight like a smaller one.
That was really fun. I do have some gripes with some of the villains, like the whatever they're called, like the cannon fodder, like the henchmen.
Yeah, the swarm troopers.
Henchmen. Yeah, the swarm troopers. I like that. like they were able to take like Superman's lasers,
Mhm.
which we mentioned, like we've seen before, where Superman's able to like augment
Yeah,
the
he adjusts the
intensity of his
intensity of
laser.
them. Yeah.
Yeah. So you see, like the lasers hadn't cut through them when they fall. Like there's a
Yeah.
scene where they fall from the sky, but then they just took a giant impact. They fell from the sky after taking the laser and didn't die. It also felt weird that he knew that that wouldn't kill them. You know, like I
It's
don't know, like that thing was, it kind of pulled me out, and I say that because the movie did a good job of not making me
yeah, I
like
feel
believe in this
yeah.
world. But that to me was like one of the things that happened where I was like, okay, I'm watching
It
it.
honestly didn't bother me
Yeah.
as much. Like I felt very like comic book campy. It's like, oh, the spinny move and they fall and it's funny, and it didn't bother me as much. Not gonna lie.
That's
Yeah.
interesting. That's interesting. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Like I wish I could like it didn't impact how I felt about the movie, but
Mhm.
it definitely was a point that took me out of it. So
Yeah,
something that I felt like maybe a few people would also, have
yeah,
similar
feel that
opinion.
too.
Maybe not
Yeah,
about
I get
it.
that. One thing that we touched upon, yeah, like there are different kryptonites to Superman. There's different challenges that he has to face, but one big kryptonite was Metamorpho, and
Which is cool because they gave us some background about kryptonite.
yeah,
Like they said, like in this world, there's no more kryptonite
yeah,
on Earth.
they specifically mentioned that there's no more kryptonite on Earth, which implies that there was kryptonite on Earth. It's no longer there. People know about kryptonite. They also know about its impact on Superman, but like it's either there's no kryptonite on Earth or it's really hard to get kryptonite on Earth. So Lex's
Yeah.
workaround was to use Metamorpho to like create that kryptonite particles, create the kryptonite element from his particles, and
Yeah, he can turn his skin, I guess, or
Yeah.
his body into any known
me
material.
too.
And so he turned it into kryptonite to subdue Superman at one point in this film. So
Yeah, I do like the depiction of Metamorpho in this movie. He starts off as a bad guy, not really bad guy, but like guy forced to do his job, and
yeah, I didn't realize that it was Anthony Kerrigan playing that, who by the way plays Victor Zsasz in the Gotham
Gotham
TV show.
TV show, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't recognize him. Like the makeup was phenomenal.
Yeah,
And he killed it too.
I like the mannerisms in this movie too. I liked his plotline too with his son and trying to save Superman. There were some nitpicks there where it's like, if you can't really carry, he was like, "Oh, you need to carry my kid because I can't carry him in my gaseous state." And then like when Superman was getting sucked into the black hole, he was able to like pull Superman a bit, and I'm like, "Oh, you're
Yeah, he was. But to be fair, at that point, like he wasn't really carrying Superman. He was like pulling him away. Like
okay, yeah, it could be like an
his whole
anchoring
attention
situation.
was
Yeah, it could be like an
and
anchor.
also he failed, right? Like he couldn't save
Yeah,
them.
he couldn't.
Superman had to kind of like turn around and blow as well.
Yeah,
Yeah, there was a few like and Krypto was pulling as well. I
too.
think,
Yeah,
right?
like it was a group effort
Yeah.
to get out of that black
It was a
hole.
group effort. Yeah, so it's fair enough.
Yeah. No, it was a good part.
Speaking of, what do you think of Krypto in this movie? Like, I can't believe we've gotten this far into the review without discussing Krypto, but he was like huge part of the marketing, huge part of the trailers, huge part of the conversations around this film. But he wasn't like as prominent in the film. I mean, plot wise, he was.
Yeah, plot wise,
But
he was
in the
like,
screen time,
yeah.
What do you think?
I don't know. To me personally, I thought the exact opposite. I like seeing the marketing and seeing the stuff. I thought that he was gonna suffer from a lot of like Disney animated character syndrome, where it's like you get like an animated animal companion, and like they're either super annoying or like they only show up for a bit. But like, I really enjoyed Krypto. Like from what I saw in the trailers, I wasn't sure that I would like him so much, but like I enjoyed him, and he was in the movie a lot. Like there was a part, like there was a part in the movie where they had to like write him off, where like, oh, he's chasing squirrels in space, but like even him not being in the movie was still impacted the plot because Superman really cares about this dog and he was looking for him.
Yeah, there was like a John Wick moment where like Krypto was kidnapped and he was like, "Oh, where's the dog?" And I'm gonna get him. And I think Krypto was a key plot point here because it was first of all, we know that Krypto doesn't belong to Superman.
Yeah.
He's like, he's sitting, and so I think like even Lex Luthor, when he breaks into the Fortress of Solitude, he's like, "Whoa! Like I didn't expect this dog to be here. Let's take him."
Yeah, he wasn't. Lex did not plan for Krypto, and
which is to me was the kryptonite, I guess, of Lex Luthor's plan. Is that the ultra strategist who was using like chess moves almost in combat, like going like, oh, AD,
Yeah.
B9, and he was like saying these things, and like it was like boxing call outs or like chess moves where like Ultraman was like
Pounding,
hitting,
the specific moves and stuff.
Superman with these moves that were based on these things, and it was like really cool to see that. And then and yeah, Krypto was just not a part of it, so he didn't anticipate Superman to like react that way, I think, or to be as determined to
Yeah.
destroy Luthor's plans. And then also like there's a scene where like Lex Luthor is winning the fight, and he's like, I'm beating you because brain over brawn. And then at the end, Superman realizes like, oh man, this man is so smart and he's planned this out. One thing he hasn't factored into
His brain
is
over,
Krypto.
yeah.
So he's like brain over brawn. Like Superman says it back, then calls in Krypto, who helps him
Come in and
defeat
just, yeah.
Ultraman. And he realizes that these drones are what Luthor is using to monitor the fight and give instructions. So then Krypto like
Goes in and
follows
starts
him around,
wrecking shit.
which is funny because Krypto was doing that to Mr. Terrific's drones all
Yeah.
throughout the film.
So
And
it was heavily planned.
annoying
Like
thing.
we know that Krypto has a tendency to wreck shit, so having him there was perfect. Like it was the perfect
Yeah,
payoff.
so I think like these little like tidbits all paid off. It wasn't
Yeah.
just a dog being a dog for the sake of having a dog in this film.
Yeah.
I think somehow it was like woven perfectly into even like the Krypto's like annoyance,
Yeah.
like these annoying habits, like biting drones and like just rushing and attacking things. Like it was very very like cookie trail like
Yeah.
kind of thing where he was dropping these hints that paid off.
And like Krypto plays a huge part in like Clark's psyche, because Clark feels like the last Kryptonian. He feels like he is the last remnant of his people. So losing someone like Krypto actually impacts him, because like he's one of his people. He actually feels for the dog, because the dog's all alone and Clark feels alone too.
I found that point very interesting in the plot because he I think he mentions it where he's like, I feel very alone, and but then at the same time, Kara
is there, we'll get there when we start talking about Kara, because I do have a justification for that, I would say, but like we'll get there when we.
I mean, yeah, and I probably know where you're going with that justification. I just felt like it was
weird that he views himself as
not weird. It wasn't that big of a deal. Like you can have like one family member and then still feel like you're alone. Like that's fine. Like and especially since she was raised in Krypton, he was raised on Earth. Like there's differences there.
Mhm.
So maybe he didn't connect with her, but you'd still think like he would use her as like an
anchor or some sort of
Which brings me, I want to discuss another point, which is the big plot twist related to
Superman, which is his parents.
Superman. Yes. Yeah. So in this film, he at the beginning he's using this recording of his parents as like a kind of like source of happiness, where they're like telling him, "Oh, we love you, and we sent you as the last hope of Krypton to
save
Earth
to
do good,
to
save
do
these
good.
people." And then the second half of it is corrupted. But when Lex Luthor and his gang break into the Fortress of Solitude, we have the engineer like hacking into it and like decorrupting the
message.
The message, and then the rest of it we find out is the big plot twist is that they also say like rule over these people, and if they like stand against you, then
like, kill all your opposition and stuff.
Yeah.
Like the message wasn't as pure as Superman
as it sounded the first half. Yeah. So they wanted him to rule over them, and I guess they chose Earth because it's a place where he could rule over. Yeah. And so that's used as a weapon to basically dehumanize Superman in the eyes of the public, and part of Lex Luthor's grand plan, which he says was not part of his original plan, but it turned out that
it helps.
It worked in his favor, so he used it, which I like. I like that it wasn't just like I had this plan all along. I knew it, and it must have been the case. It was like he even says in the movie, like I was looking for a way.
He was looking for a weakness, and then he found this, and it was like, oh,
who knew it would be delivered by his own parents, right? What are your thoughts about this?
Okay, I know that we fall on different fence, like on different sides of the fence with this topic, but like I do like this. I do like this twist, because when I first saw the movie and like I saw like Superman viewing his parents' message and he loved it, and it was his source of like doing good. To me, that's not what Superman is. Superman doesn't do good because his space parents told him to do so. To me, Superman does good because he is naturally a good person. He tries to do his best to help people. It's how he was raised. It was like what Mom and Pa Kent installed in him in order to do so. So when you see that, he's doing good because his parents forced him to do good because they told him to do good. Kind of like defeats the purpose of Superman to me. But once we got the reveal, and it's like they also mentioned this specifically in the movie, where it's like you saw what you wanted to see in that message. Like Superman saw doing good as what he wanted to see from that message, and that's why he does good, right?
See, I have, like you said, a very different opinion. To me, parenting is a huge theme of Superman, and I'm recently a new parent as well. So I'm constantly thinking about how I could be a better father, what it means to raise a son, and so on. And one thing, and it's touched on in this film, right? Like, I think Jonathan Kent himself says, like, we as parents, we're not, we're meant to give you tools, but we're not meant to tell you who you are and what to do. And so to me, Superman, or what made Superman super and man, is that he had this larger than life, like alien parents who taught him like their symbol, their house symbol, which means hope.
Yeah.
Right. And he wears it on his chest. And then the Kents teach him like what it means to be human. And that's what makes him stand out, is he's super, but he is a human, right? So he has these two different parents, which is a unique position to be, that teach him two different things from two different worlds that are merged together, make this amazing person, right? Because I think we as humans are characteristically flawed, right? We have issues, and I guess Kryptonians do too. So it's the yin and yang effect, where you get Superman who's perfect because he has the yin and the yang. He has a piece of both. And you kind of mentioned, you think Clark Kent and Superman, but to me there is Kal-El, which is what still keeps him from being a human, is that he's like, humans, you kill your own kind, you like, you do injustice to your own people, and that's rare in the universe. And I think I remember in like Justice League War or Justice League Doom, or there's like cartoon animated movie where Darkseid is about to, he's captured
Justice League Apocalypse.
Apocalypse, and Batman comes in and he's like, I have the code, I'll just blow everything up.
Yeah, and he's like, only a human would do something like that.
Yeah. And then he's like, yeah, because you're a human, like had the Kryptonian or I think the
Amazon.
The Amazon taken this bet, I wouldn't have believed them, but you're a human. You have the strength of character to do it because your own kind kills each other.
Yeah.
So, that to me, that's like a sign, like, yeah, humans are, flawed. So what makes Superman, like, who is, very human, despite being an alien, still not fall into those pits? I always imagined it was like what his parents said, and with the whole, like, not to go into Spider-Man, but like with great power comes great responsibility. And that was taught to him by his Kryptonian parents, who understood the power he would have over the people they sent him.
Yeah,
so to me, this alienated such a huge part of who Superman is to me. And it didn't ruin the movie for me or anything like that. It just felt like a questionable decision.
I don't know. I do actually like this choice. Like, it isn't my top choice for what you'd want to do with this character, but like, I do like this choice where it's like, hey, even his alien parents aren't paragons of truth, right? They're not the best people in the world, but like, Superman is good because he's been raised good, right? It's how Superman is. It's Superman trying to be the best person he can, try to help people. It's the whole nature versus nurture thing, where it's like, is it in his nature to be good, or was he nurtured by his parents in order to become a good person? And that's what, I feel like I'm okay with assassinating the characters of Jor-El and Lara in order to make Superman a good character,
Yeah, I guess, but it just didn't feel necessary to me. Like I agree with everything you said, and it could be the case by being parented by both set of parents that way, right? Like, I don't think the fact that his parents are good or evil would necessarily mean that he is good or evil, right? And same thing with the Kents, like, they could have raised him bad, and he's like, what, like, I have power over people and I don't like using it negatively, so I want to be good. Like, I don't think, like you said, like, I agree with everything you said. And to me, that doesn't really justify this choice. Not that choice needs justification. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it was fine. Like, it was cool. Like, the movie did it. It was fine.
Listen,
I just felt like it was...
To play devil's advocate here, right? We haven't seen, like there, it could be a situation where, like, this is the message we got that the engineer deciphered, right? There could be more to the message where it's like, haha, just kidding, don't do that. Don't.
You know something, and I feel like I've rambled on this a lot, and it's because I feel strongly about it. So pardon me for interrupting you so often,
No
but
worries.
because my mind is like really conflicted about this, because I love the film, but this was like a big gripe I had with it, which didn't ruin the film for me, but it's just in the back of my mind kind of gnawing at it, which is that, okay, in this film, he was taken aback by the fact that his parents would ever think this way, right? Like they're these great people and stuff like that, and Kryptonians he thought were this way, but he knows Kara, who is from there, who I would have at least assumed would be like, this is why we were sent to. You know what I mean? Like, this is why we were sent to this planet, and like I feel like the conversation between the two of them would have at least given him a semblance of like what Kryptonians would have thought of people of the Earth, or like why they chose the Earth, or what they wanted out of them.
See, this builds up on my last point, where it's like, we probably don't even know the full message. I don't want to speculate on stuff that we haven't seen, but there is Kara. I feel like a lot of this will get addressed in Supergirl, or it should get addressed in Supergirl.
No.
I don't know if it will, but like maybe it should. But yeah, even with that, right? Like she left. Okay, traditionally Supergirl left Krypton as a teenager. She was older than Clark when they left, but she's younger than him on Earth because she went through like a wormhole and stuff. But that's a different part of the story. But like, to me, it's like, even if that's true, right? Even if like Kryptonians have this conquer mentality or whatnot, I still feel like there is aspects to it where it's like, maybe it's not like common belief. Maybe it's just a message that they gave their kid because they wanted him to be safe. Where it's like, hey, just conquer, and like the best way to keep you safe is to like assert your power. You know?
Yeah. I think what blew it out of proportion was people's reaction to it, right? But it may not be that deep. Like, they might not be bad people. And maybe they were just worried about their son who's being sent to this planet, who they're worried is just going to be like mistreated for his power and so on. And so they're like, hey, if someone stands against you, like, make sure to defend yourself. Like, it could be that simple. It could be.
Yeah. So there are aspects to it, but I feel like it should get addressed in Supergirl, or maybe
I hope so.
Superman 2 or.
And we kind of glossed over this, but that's like a big like.
That was a reveal.
End, like Kara shows up,
That was...
and we have the photo here because like she shows up drunk and she's like, "Where's my dog? I want to take him. It's my birthday. I want to go party." And she's wearing this trench coat, and that's exactly how the Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow comic starts. She's drunk. She's wearing the same trench coat. And
that's what the movie's called too, right? Supergirl movie.
Yeah. I don't know if the movie's called that.
I believe at one point it was called that. It was like the working title,
because that's the main influence they mentioned.
So that's going to be interesting. And again, we're going. I hope they address all that part, because she was raised in Krypton. What does the symbol of House of L mean in this universe, right? Like, are they actually conquerors? Do they like?
Like, he's still like, the movie ended with him watching like a video of his Kent family instead of the L family.
So is Superman trying to disassociate with them, or like what?
Yeah, and if he is he gonna get rid of that symbol?
Or maybe commandeer it, use it for like have it represent something else.
It's definitely something that needs to be addressed, I think, moving forward. But as like an establishing thing in his character.
But I honestly didn't know that like Supergirl was gonna show up in this movie. It was a surprise.
Really?
Yeah.
I felt like she would. I feel like this is like going to be
the new
case for DCU, where in Marvel it was like after credit scenes that were like hints at like what's coming next. I think here it's going to be like it's teeing off the next film. Like, I think the Supergirl film is likely going to start off here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
cool. That would be a cool concept. There were a bunch of like hidden reveals that I wasn't sure about. Like, Bradley Cooper was Jor-El, and I was like, oh, cool. I didn't know about it.
I didn't know Peacemaker was in an interview.
Peacemaker made a quick cameo in there. One review.
Speaking of cameos, I personally was expecting Henry Cavill to play the role of Ultraman. We know in the comics Ultraman is a clone of
actually a different like he's Superman from a different universe.
I think different iterations do it differently, but so it could be either one of those, and maybe like we were talking about how in the movie Lex developed these portals that like take you between different
pocket dimension.
Yeah, pocket dimension. So maybe in that one of the pocket dimensions, he covers this
Yeah.
Superman, whatever. But we find out it's just a clone that he was able to get the DNA of Clark and then Superman and then clone him. But the clone turned out to be an idiot, so
Okay.
that's why he controls him like a puppet. Like he uses these like chess moves to tell him what to do. But what was interesting is that I had seen Henry Cavill like doing a bunch of interviews and stuff leading up to this movie, not for this movie, obviously. Where he had this haircut where it's like long
yeah.
curly hair, and then in the movie, as Ultraman is being beat up, by the way, he's wearing a muscle suit, Ultraman.
Yeah.
So he looked big and beefy like Henry Cavill.
Would,
right?
yeah.
So that was the first hint to me that that might be Henry Cavill playing the Superman as Ultraman, which would be really cool. And then as the fight was going on, like the mask got torn a little, and you could see
you can see some of the hair,
curly
right? Yeah.
hair. And I was like, this is Henry Cavill. This is about to be great. And then even in that screenshot that we have, like right above us here, like you can see, he has that, like that could be him.
Yeah,
right?
I get you.
We see in the movie it's just David Corenswet playing his, but with different hair.
Yeah, I wasn't disappointed. It would have been a cool cameo, but like, it was fun.
It could have been divisive, right? Like maybe putting Cavill as a villain would have just villainized the Snyder fans and so on. So maybe
I do have theories about this. Maybe we'll touch more on this on like a separate video. But like, why maybe like the first intention was to get Henry Cavill into this movie, but like maybe not. It's conspiracies. Maybe we'll come up with like some sort of conspiracy video.
I mean, there was some stuff surrounding the film that was like a bit controversial. Like, I think there was screenings of the film, like early screenings that were shown to people, test screens, right? And then there was a point where Ultraman punches Krypto, and then that was removed from the film because people were like, "That's animal abuse."
Yeah, that's and also Krypto's like modeled over like James Gunn's actual dog.
So no, but he put it in the film,
but like, seeing your dog get beat isn't.
I know, but it's a super dog who like almost tears the engineer's face off in this film and like rips some of the soldiers to shreds and like actually goes ham on Ultraman himself. I think a punch is fine.
Yeah.
I hope we can see Krypto get like
what's wrong with you? Want to see like
he's a super dog.
Yeah,
there's no concern here. Like there's no animal
abuse. Dog get punched.
You're supposed to hate villains. They're supposed to do evil things. If they can't punch a dog, but they can throw fireballs at you, like, that's weird. It's a weird.
Might be unnecessary. Like I forgot. Yeah, part of like Iby's charm is that he walks down the street and just kicks the first dog he sees.
I like to see villains be villains, and I feel like lately in media, villains are very watered down. You know what I mean? Like I think there's almost like a fear but we watch horror movies where people like carve up other people. So and like that's fine because it's a movie, right?
You watch horror movies where people carve up other people.
Can't even name a movie where that happens. But you get what I mean? This is the case. But yeah, I mean, I thought that was weird. Like about this film.
Yeah,
but
just a quick
I think there's just too much criticality on this film, like leading into it, that he just wanted to avoid controversy, so he took the scene out. That's at least how I read it, the situation.
Yeah, just a quick side note about the villains. I do feel like I liked both the Engineer and Ultraman. Ultraman being a clone of Superman, not a perfect clone, is very comic book accurate. Like that's how Bizarro starts. Like he's.
I was gonna say I have a theory about this because he doesn't die. He gets sucked into a black.
Yeah. So we might get him back, and we might get like Bizarro Superman, which I kind of hope we do, but like it is like
I'm almost certain.
But I don't know if they will, because we already got like the clone Superman plot line, so I'm not sure if they'll.
If we do, it might not be.
It might not be in the movies. It might be in a TV show or something too, right? Like
exactly, and it might not even be soon. It might be like something that happens like way down.
Yeah, I also like the Engineer. I do feel like we could have used more of her. There were some stuff where like they did imply there's more to the character. Like Superman was trying to talk to her as he was like fighting her. It was like, oh, stay down and stuff. I do like her power set. I also like that she was like able to like decrypt stuff. Like she seemed smart too, right?
Yeah.
We could have used a bit more
I mean, I
the
think the
engineer.
movie was packed as is. Like more of
Yeah.
anyone would have been maybe slightly too much. It's better to be like, I wanted more
Yeah,
than to feel like, oh, there was too much.
yeah,
Right?
leave them wanting more, right? That's the idea.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
I think that was pretty.
And they also made a huge note to say like, oh, she's still breathing, like she's still alive. Don't
Yeah,
stress
she's
it.
still alive.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she feels more like someone who could transition into.
Yeah, or
Yeah.
even like a TV show villain or something like that,
I
right?
think at one point she does like kind of stand up to Lex Luthor a little bit, right? She says something. I can't remember about what.
I don't know. I do need to like rewatch the movie. I feel like this is
Yeah,
one
I
of those
mean,
movies.
one time
Yeah.
is not enough.
Yeah, this is one of those movies you would rewatch and like get more out of it. And
Yeah, and definitely have a lot more
Yeah.
conversations than. Speaking of which, we should probably wrap it up
Yeah.
and give our final thoughts on the movie. So okay, let's do final thoughts and then we'll do like a rating.
Yeah.
So
all right.
why don't you kick things off?
I do love this movie. I really like this movie. It's one of my favorite Superman movies, and like we said, it is. I do feel like I do want to rewatch this movie like once or twice. Maybe when it goes into streaming, I'll break it down into episodes and actually watch it as episodes. We'll see how that goes. But no, I do like this movie. I do like what it does as a start to the James Gunn verse. I don't know if we're calling it the James Gunn verse or the DCU, but I do like this as the start to the cinematic version of the DCU. And based on the question we asked at the beginning, is it the super start that we wanted? Yeah. Is it perfect? Not really. Are there plot threads that maybe people won't agree with, or tones and styles that people won't agree with? Possibly, but I do think this is a solid enough foundation to like start a universe through. And yeah, I do like this. It is a good movie. What about you? What do you think?
I agree with you 100%. I think this is a great start for the DCU. I think it sets up a world, like it does so much world building without like it being too in your face. The characters, there's a lot of like I was concerned about the number of characters that are in this film, big names, but they just felt like they were naturally there, like they were just in the world, and the story happens to be told in that world.
Yeah.
It didn't go out of its way to explain who they are, why they are the way that they are, and so on. It just let things. And I like that it wasn't an origin story. I like that it started already like in the thick of it.
Yeah.
I felt like it was like we are newcomers to this world, but the world is not. And we're slowly going to be learning more.
It did feel very lived in. At
Yeah.
the very beginning of the movie, they were like, "Oh, the first meta-human showed up 300 years ago." So I'm intrigued to hear more about that part. Like, who was that?
Yeah, like I wonder who that
yeah.
was. Like, who was the first meta?
Yeah. So yeah, very. I feel like we have positive sentiments here, right? Let's
Definitely positive sentiment. Like you said, it wasn't perfect. I mean, we heard a lot through this episode, like my gripes with the film.
Some nitpicks and stuff, but like.
Yeah, but like that being said, my biggest concerns, and I think people in general, online's concerns were like that James Gunn thumbprint, that like it's gonna be too funny, it's gonna be too this. It wasn't, and even the James Gunn isms were done really well. Like in a lot of James Gunn films, there's like big musical numbers with big fight scenes with music playing.
Yeah.
There was one with Mr. Terrific in this movie, and I think it was so well done. Like they like cookie crumble, like
they paved the way there, right? Like they were like, hey, this place, they've got a radio, the music's is playing here, so when they show up again, there's more music and so on, and it's like yeah,
exactly. It just felt like again, like it was there, the music was already there, it was there in other scenes, it's there in this scene too. But then when the fight happens, like the volume like goes up and the music takes over, and then when it's done, it like goes back to like I think it was fine. I'm not a like.
Yeah,
it wasn't special. It wasn't anything. It was just like cool. Like that was fine. It was done well. It fit. It didn't feel out of place. I'm happy with that.
Yeah.
Overall, I think is definitely. I was gonna say my favorite Superman movie, but maybe it's like first or second.
Yeah.
Like I really love the original Superman. Like
there is some recency bias here, so let's not.
But I think it might age like wine.
Yeah.
Like I think it might age as time goes on, like really well, because. There was a lot that I liked. I really liked the flight.
Mm-hmm.
The CGI was like on and off, but I still think it was better than MCU.
That first fight, well, recent MCU, early MCU was pretty good too, but like that first fight with the Hammer of Bravia, some of it was very wonky. Some of it felt very like, oh, this feels cartoony, right? But
yeah, definitely that was a piece of it. I wonder if that was on purpose. Look, I'm gonna tell you something about like since we touched on this, I'll touch on this very quickly. Fantastic Four.
Mm-hmm.
And Superman started filming a year apart.
Which one filmed first?
So Superman started filming a year before Fantastic Four.
Okay, yeah.
And now they are being released
At
2
the
weeks
same time,
apart.
yeah.
So like you can see that like they took their time with this film.
Yeah, they put
but
some extra
like,
care
you
into this
can do it a bit
because
more
they're
rushed,
launching
right?
a new verse, so they're trying to like make it better. I
Yeah,
guess,
and like there were a lot of eyes on this film. So
Yeah.
that being said, it felt very polished, and like you
Mhm.
said, there were like some parts, but I wonder if those parts were like felt that way on
Okay.
to be a bit more campy or comic booky.
Mhm.
Like I can't attribute it to poor CGI. Like it didn't feel like poor CGI. It just felt like it looked cartoony.
Yeah, it feels like you're defending them a bit too much. It might still be for CGI, but
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know because it to me there was a lot of weird choices.
Mhm.
Like certain camera angles felt weird, which made the CGI in that scene feel weird. But even if there was no CGI, that still looked weird to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Which is why I'm not attributing it to poor CGI. I'm not saying that I liked it. Does that make sense? Like,
I get what you
that
mean.
fight with the Hammer of Bolivia was weird to me.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it felt cartoony and
You're
odd.
just
But
saying that it might have been a choice.
yeah, and
which
maybe not the best choice.
yeah.
But I don't know if it's bad CGI.
Yeah,
because
I don't know
in
if
the
I agree with
MCU,
that.
when I
but-
see it, I go like, "That's bad CGI," not necessarily poorly directed scene or bad like thematic choice.
Yeah, fair. So, what ranking would you give this movie?
How are we going to rank this? I know we said that we were going to have a crazy ranking system.
Yeah, okay.
That you and I love to do this when we talk, so let's make it a part of our podcast.
Okay, yeah. So,
how do you want me to rank this?
Okay, so for this movie, let's say like it's Superman, we'll rank it based on like kryptonite. So keep in mind, like the less kryptonite, the better. So like if like give it less like a meteor of kryptonite is a bad movie. Like a speck of kryptonite is a good movie, right? So where would you rank this?
Cool. All right, I'm gonna say a kryptonite ring.
Cool.
Batman's kryptonite ring.
Yeah,
it's enough to do damage. You know, it's enough that there's gripes with this film.
Yeah,
but it's not anything crazy. I think this film was very solid.
Yeah,
very solid.
As a start to this verse, it felt really, really strong.
As a Superman movie, it's definitely, like I said, in my top 2. And in terms of a superhero movie in general, or a comic book movie in general, I also think it's a solid addition. What about you? What's your ranking?
Yeah, again, recency bias. I don't like. Based on what I've seen so far, I do really love this. Like, it's the best superhero movie I've seen in a while. I don't get a lot of the hate that I'm seeing online, but like I do love this. It is a good movie. Like
social media.
The cinema that I watched this movie at, like people clapped when the movie finished, and I was like,
yeah, me too. People, were very happy with it. It's funny. People clapped when the movie ended, and then when the after credit scenes happened, people were really disappointed. I think they wanted
more.
Bit more. So they were like, oh, like I heard people like moan and like kind of like say like, oh, I waited for this. Like,
no,
this just for reference, there wasn't anything crazy.
Yeah, after credit scenes.
I thought that was funny. I mean, I don't want it to be like the MCU, right? It's good to differentiate. So I didn't care, but yeah, that was a funny thing. Like people clapped, the movie's over, and then they sat, waited, they watched the things, and were like, "Oh, I hate this."
Yeah, they were waiting for Batman to show up in the after credits scene.
Yeah, that would have been sick.
All right, sounds good.
Awesome. Thank you guys for joining us in the first episode of the podcast. We're really hoping that this is going to be a regular thing. We haven't like nailed anything down in terms of like what our schedule will be like. These are just casual conversations between friends that we wanted to share with the world. So if you found this interesting, if you want to be a part of this and you want to join this community and have these kind of conversations with each other about all things comic books, please rate. Let us know in the comments. Give us a like if you liked it. Give us a dislike if you disliked it. Maybe you can tell us how to improve something.
And if you disagree with Iby's takes, just comment in the leave a comment down there about how much.
Dox me.
Yeah, just dox me. Really, we actually don't like it.
Please don't. But yeah, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and hopefully we'll go on this journey together. And
well, there's more comics to talk about, right? There's always more comics.
There's always more comics.
All right, cool.
Welcome to Title Issues, where the comics glow.
Play the outro. Boop 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 bow. So, did I stutter there? Do we need to redo this? Oh, we're good. Nice.
First things first, I want to clear something up.
Mhm.
Welcome to our first. Oh, we didn't do an intro.
What do you mean? We just did
You said we had to reiterate the.
We did.
Oh, we did do it.
Yeah, we did it. We're good. We're good. Okay.
Sorry.
Do. Okay, one sec. Brosnahan?
Brosnahan, yeah. Brosnahan, yeah.
How do you feel about Rachel Bronson? How do you feel about Rachel Bronsnahan?
We're not cutting this out.
Yeah,
We have to keep this in.
60 seconds. Guess the hero. Go.
Is it a male or female?
Male.
Is it a hero or villain?
A hero.
Is it a metahuman or human?
Metahuman, actually.
Damn. Okay. Male
think
metahuman
comic book verse.
hero. Okay. Okay. Does he run really fast?
Yeah, actually.
Is it Flash?
It is the Flash, yeah.
I can't even explain to you my train of thought. It was like I played the man, not the game. You know, I was like, who would?
Yeah,
Benny
who would
pick?
Omar guess? Yeah, who would Benny do?
Oh my god! Yeah.
No,
yeah.
that was really
Okay.
good. Iby, 60 seconds. Guess the comic book character. Let's go.
Is it a male or female?
Male.
Is it a hero or villain?
Hero.
DC or Marvel?
Marvel.
Does he wear a cape?
No cape.
Is it a metahuman or a regular human?
He does have meta powers.
Is he a mutant?
Not mutant.
Is he a member of the Avengers?
Yes.
Is he a member of the Avengers that we've seen on screen, like the MCU movies?
Yes.
Is it Hawkeye?
No.
He has meta powers. Is it the Hulk? Is it?
Think
You said no
characters.
cape.
Yeah, think original Avengers.
Captain America.
Yes.
Yeah. Damn, I don't know
Okay.
why that should have been easier than
Yeah,
it
that
was.
should have been a bit. You got there though.
Guess the hero, 60 seconds. Let's go.
Male or female?
Male.
Marvel or DC?
DC.
Part of the Justice League.
No.
Part of the Teen Titans.
No.
Young Justice.
Nope.
Doom Patrol. Is he a hero or villain?
He's a villain.
Ah, damn.
Yeah.
Okay.
You skipped that question.
Yeah, I was giving the question to each other. Okay. Superpowers. Is he like metahuman?
I think so.
Okay.
I want to say I think so because it depends on the iteration, but
Okay.
yes.
Okay, so usually meta. Is he a Justice League villain?
Yes.
Is he like a single villain or is he like a villain to a group?
Single.
Ah, damn it. I lost it. What was it? It was Deathstroke.
Yeah. He does have powers, right? Yeah. He has like very enhanced like physical
powers, yeah.
Right. Benny, guess the superhero, 60 seconds. Let's go.
Go. Male or female?
Male.
Okay. Marvel, DC?
DC.
Okay. Hero or villain?
Villain.
Is he a solo villain or like a group? Like, is he a villain?
Solo villain.
Right. Is he a Superman villain?
No.
Batman villain?
Yes.
Batman, yes. Does he have superpowers?
I would say he developed them, so to speak. Like it's not superpower, but he is superpowered.
He's superpowered. Okay, cool. Is he? Have we seen him in the movie?
Yes.
Is it Bane?
No.
Is it Penguin?
No.
Mr. Freeze?
Yes. 2 seconds to go.
Wow. Yes, the comic book character. Go.
Is it a male or female? DC or Marvel?
Marvel.
Okay. Is the character a part of the Avengers?
Not usually.
Is the character a hero or villain?
I'd say more anti-hero.
Anti-hero. Does he use guns?
Yes.
Is it Deadpool?
Good guess.
Anti-hero that uses guns. Anti-hero that uses guns. Okay. Has he been a part of any villain team?
He's
Is
like
his
a,
primary
he's like a hero, but like an anti-hero. Think TV shows,
Shit.
movies.
Shit!
It's Punisher.
Punisher! No! Damn, how did I miss the Punisher? That's horrible.
Yeah, honestly, it's like him and Deadpool who are like the quintessential.
Yeah, I don't know why I missed that. That should have been easy. Oh, damn. Okay. Benny, guess the superhero. 60 seconds. Let's go.
60 seconds. Let's go. Marvel, DC.
DC.
Hero or villain?
A hero.
Male or female?
Female.
Okay, female. Wonder Woman.
No.
One day it's gonna be Wonder Woman.
One day it's gonna be.
Part of the Justice League.
Sometimes.
Okay. Superpowers.
Yes.
Cape.
Yeah.
Okay. Can fly.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, cape and can fly. Powers, female. I'm blanking out. Miss Martian. Miss Martian.
Please.
Why are you laughing? Super.